Hello all. Thank you so much for celebrating Pride with the San Jose Museum of Art on Facebook First Friday. I'm Melanie Samay, Director of Marketing and Communications at the San Jose Museum of Art. We support and celebrate our LGBTQI+ community and the ongoing struggle for civil rights. This is a time we would ordinarily be together, hugging, dancing, celebrating, the very opposite of social distancing. And we recognize that being apart, especially now, can be challenging. We need one another to connect and come together. Much has been accomplished, but there is still more to be done. And we are here. SJMA welcomes everyone and the partners they love, however they identify. We acknowledge and center Black trans lives. They matter and need our support. They are the most vulnerable of our community. Tonight's event is hosted by Alpha Andromeda, drag queen extraordinaire, and Gabrielle Antolovich, board president of the Billy DeFrank LGBTQ+ Community Center. They are longtime friends and will give us a queer, cheeky reading of some artworks from the museum's permanent collection. Following that is an artist presentation by Marcela Pardo Ariza, a queer Latinx visual artist and curator that explores trans-historical and intergenerational kinship. She will then be interviewed by Alpha and Gabrielle. San Jose native Sancha sends her gothic cumbias from Los Angeles, which will be followed by a Q&A. Thank you to our sponsors, Silicon Valley Pride and to our partners, Silicon Valley Pride and the Billy DeFrank LGBTQ+ Community Center. Generous support for all Facebook First Friday events comes from Facebook. Don't miss September's Facebook First Friday Teacher Appreciation Night. Special gratitude to Saldy Suriben for producing the event. And on Thursday, August 20th, join us for a panel on advocating LGBTQIA+ arts professionals in Silicon Valley. Gen Art Silicon Valley presents this event in partnership with Silicon Valley Pride and SJMA. Thank you for inviting us into your homes.
Oh, thank you, Melanie.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
You look absolutely gorgeous tonight. Yeah.
Oh, so great to see you guys. Hug, hug.
Yeah.
How
Virtual hug.
Like a hug on screen. Oh my God. So good to see you.
So good to see you too. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh.
Yay.
Doing all right, doing all right. I know, like, virtual hugs are the closest thing we have to an actual hug, because even if I were to see you in person, I'd be like, hello, Melanie. Like, it's good to see you.
Well, maybe, how do you do, no, I'm doing it the wrong way. How's that? That's it. You put your finger on my finger, Melanie.
Ooh.
Back for the back. How about you, Alpha?
Oh, there it is. Oh, wait. There it is.
There it is. Yay! Woohoo!
So cute.
Now we're professionals.
Absolutely. Yeah. We know our left from our right, kind of.
Oh, dear. So, welcome everyone to this.
The Facebook First Fridays in partnership with Billy DeFrank Center and Silicon Valley Pride. Oh, yeah. So amazing.
Oh my goodness. So, how have you been during COVID, Alpha?
Manic, absolutely manic. I started everything like everyone else, like kicked into high gear. Like, I need to be doing 9 things. I need to be making 8 TikToks a day and producing outfits, wigs, looks, whatever. And then I burnt out through all of July. And so now this is a great start to like coming back up and kind of being like, this is the new normal. Things are going to be this way for a while. So might as well set in and get comfy.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Well, the Billy DeFrank LGBTQ+ Community Center had to shut down in March. And we've got all of our discussion groups are online now, and you can find that on defrank.org, the website. And so that's really great. And we, you know, doing essential business is not the most exciting thing, but I have to do it because I have to go from home to DeFrank home. So that has kept me sane in some ways. And we've been doing some really fun projects. I wish I had a photo of it. But you know those concrete slabs in the parking lot so the car doesn't go any further?
I live like maybe 2 blocks away from the DeFrank Center, and I walk my dog right by there. Once I saw those were painted rainbow, girl, it's so cute.
It is. And the evergreen giving tree, this young group of people who are all quarantined in the same house, painted them. And each of them wore the color of the T-shirt of the color they painted the slab. It's so cute. Yeah. And I put it up on Facebook. You know, this is Facebook Friday, you know.
Absolutely. Yes. In case you didn't know, this is Facebook First Fridays.
Yeah.
Facebook First Fridays. I'm actually posting this on Facebook as we speak.
And so, you know, people are not parking where the rainbow slabs are, which is great because then everyone can see them when they're walking their dog like you.
Absolutely. Literally, I crossed the rainbow crosswalk to see the rainbow parking lot. And I'm like, could this be gayer? I think we need to be gayer.
I know. It's just crazy. Yeah.
It's so cute.
We are all can't wait to be back at the Billy DeFrank Center, I can tell you. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Oh, same. I miss the DeFrank Center. I miss nightlife. I miss, you know, large groups of people.
Silicon Valley Pride life. Yeah, that's
absolutely.
Yeah, there's some days I'm grumpy, so I have to call my friends, and they dig me.
I know. I feel like I'm in this constant communication with, you know, everyone, and it's kind of nice, but it's also like, so tiring. Especially like being friends with all drag queens.
Oh, yeah.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. We need a big glass wall or something so we can all, you know, touch each other through a glass wall, you know?
So in San Francisco, I don't remember the venue, but someone did a like capsule drag show where it was all behind a glass wall and there was like a socially distanced audience on the street. I'm like, that's the future.
Yeah, we could do that in the parking lot. Hello?
Are we onto something?
Yeah, it's not a big crowd, but hey, it's a crowd.
Yeah.
So what are we doing tonight?
That's a really good question. I'm like, there's a schedule here somewhere. Yes. Oh, so we have a lot of things going on. We're talking about the SJMA's permanent collection because it's still sitting there, even though no one's there to look at it. And we have our lovely talk with Marcella, and she has a whole thing, and we have an interview for her. It's going to be fantastic. And then we're finishing strong with Sancha tonight, live from LA. Yes, I'm very excited.
Yeah. And you know, the San Jose Museum of Art, they closed like so many other places. And I'm really glad we're doing tonight so that we don't forget that we have a museum of art. And I'm glad I'm here so that people don't forget we have an LGBTQ plus community center that is alive and well. And I'm glad you're here that drag is still alive.
Oh, drag is beyond alive right now, thriving. I just got something very exciting. I don't know if I can say it, but I'm going to say it. I got accepted for Oaklash, which is the Bay Area's own drag festival. And they're doing it digitally this year in it's next month. So I'm very excited about this.
Yay! Oh my goodness. Can they throw people like me in there going, yay?
Just a soundbite of you in the audience, like, yeah! Somehow that has an Australian accent as well.
And you know what you can do is just multiply me by 1,000 so it looks like a crowd. Hey.
Exactly. Oh, you're mine.
What can I say?
So, all this being said, this is in partnership with San Jose Museum of Art. So, should we jump into their permanent collection and see what's there right now?
Let's look. I haven't seen the permanent collection in a long time. In fact, I've forgotten what it is because I've always gone to the new ones.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, what was that? Ooh, what is it? Yes, it's something you could wear.
Absolutely. Girl, you know I'd wear that in a heartbeat too. So I know this is one of the ones that I selected. I did a really small like Instagram. It's actually on San Jose Museum of Art's Instagram. I did 4 pictures that kind of represent drag from San Jose Museum of Art's collection. So I like this one because it's a really fabulous dress. No one to wear it.
Yeah, but you know, it's a boring white color, you know. You'd have to dress it up with tinsel or something. I don't know.
Or a great wig.
Yeah. Maybe a lesbian would wear it for a wedding.
There you go. No.
Yeah. Oh, what's that? Oh, is that a lip? Is that
lip and the bite cup.
Was that such a hot drink that the lip stuck to the cup?
It's kind of like a styrofoam drink or a styrofoam cup where you're just like biting on it and then eventually you just end up biting it away. Not that I'm taking experience or anything.
Somebody's lipless somewhere, I tell you.
It's probably me because this lipstick transfers like a bitch. It's the worst.
Goodness. Oh, another
little dressed up Barbie doll. That's cute. I do love a good veil. I like something covering the face. It's a very chic moment.
Is that what it is?
I'm here for this. And honestly, I've chose this one for the drag moment just because I liked that it was a very period piece, because I know a lot of girls who like their like 50s, 60s moments. And I mean, it's just so chicly posed. Little clutch in hand. That's drag.
I went out with a woman that dressed like that. So I can't say anything bad about it. She might be watching. But I like it. I like it. Yeah. It's better than drag. It's very lesbianic.
Actually. Because I know like a good like rockabilly lesbian moment, and this is very that.
Yeah, not everything is drag, you know.
I will fight you on that.
Okay, I'm done with this one. Ooh. Is that someone going bald or is it deliberate?
So this is a COVID haircut. The one that you do yourself in the mirror where you're like, you have the razor and you're just going for it. Not that I've done that, but
Oh, no, you wouldn't want to. Well, although it wouldn't matter. You've got so many wigs.
Oh, too many. Too many.
Maybe this is a wig holder. Maybe it's not a person.
It's one of my really dirty wig stands. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
Has crusted foundation all over it.
Right. You sort of touched it up a bit to make it look like a hairdo. Oh, my goodness. So how many wig stands do you have? Oh, don't count. Just how many?
Yeah. I'm like, stands, I have like at least 20. Wigs, I know there's over 60.
Oh, wow.
I know.
And all I ever do is spray my hair with different colors. It makes it easier, and then I'll wash it out.
I've never seen you with a different color, and I need to see this immediately.
Oh, my God. I was going to do it for tonight, and I thought I'd rather have the rainbow behind me rather than in my hair. But, you know, you can go to the party store and get different colors. They especially put them out for Halloween. And so I buy them out. And so I can rainbow my hair or just have purple, you know.
Oh, girl, I am no stranger to a day after Halloween spirit store sale. Ooh, that's my favorite. Everything half off? Yes.
That's right.
All right, next.
Oh, my God, it's a rat. Is it?
A rat on a skateboard?
What is it? A rat that fell off a skateboard? Oh, no, it's somebody riding a rat. I don't know. Maybe I like it.
I think those exist in New York.
Yeah.
The rats have gone rogue.
Maybe it's a Cinderella story.
I can't make heads or tails of this, but I know that the title of this piece is Bad.
What is it? Bad? Bad?
It's called Bad.
Huh. Bad. But it could be a Cinderella thing, you know, when the horse at midnight becomes the mouse or the rat.
This is the moment, like, right in between that.
Yeah, the poor horse person is still riding the horse, but now it's a rat. Another COVID story. You know, you thought you had a fabulous life, and then COVID happened, and boom, it all changed back to a rat.
Girl, that's me waking up from a night after a hookup. You're just like, turn over, and you're like, oh, you look like that? Oh.
Let me out of here.
Like, I'm leaving. Bye. And it's my own house, and I'm leaving. All right. Let's see what's next.
Oh. This is
we have
before the full moon.
This is the Windows background, like when you first get it, or the Apple background. Just on your brand new MacBook.
That's when your battery gets low on your computer, and your screen gets darker and darker, warning you before it goes blip, gone. I must admit, I like it. You know, it looks like you know, the northern lights in Alaska. Bad, you know.
Totally.
Yeah.
Nice little Aurora Borealis. That's a great drag name.
Or it could be a UFO. You don't know. You know, there's this funny cartoon where the the guy, the alien comes out with a sign, take me to your leader. And the guy said, oh, this is not a good time for that.
Oh, no. Very much not.
Yeah, so that's what this painting reminds me of. It just bypass Earth. Just keep going.
I will say though, it's very calming. There's something calming about it. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's just like, night, I'm asleep, done.
Well, I must admit, when it gets dark and I lie down, that's it too. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's it. Okay. Do we have something else? Ooh. Oh.
I know you said not everything's drag, but this is drag.
Oh, I know. It is drag. It's okay. I will give you that one.
Like, I could see this transferred into a really good makeup. Like, that'd be really fun. Just like headpiece right here, this like flowery thing going on.
You could just use your hand.
Yeah. Ooh.
Like you're doing. You don't
really
even
big nails. Wow.
Yeah. So if you picked all of these, you just picked everything drag.
I picked 4 of them. I picked the first 4.
Oh, is that all? Okay. Then I won't get.
Yeah, from here on out, I have no idea.
But this is nice. I like it. And it's also very COVID-y, you know, hiding everything about yourself on the face. All it needs is you know, one of those clear shields around it, and then it's perfect. That's the new thing, you know, Alpha. Those clear shields.
I've seen so many of them. People are starting to attach them. People are starting to attach them to like fashionable hats, and I'm like, am I into this?
We should be wearing those now. No. Separate studios. It's okay. We don't have to.
All good.
I'm not doing it.
Let's see what's next.
Oh.
So this is your computer screen, like after you freeze for a moment and you're like kind of glitching back, like.
Yeah. It probably is a 3D thing where they threw staples at it. Staples, you know, those big, you know, those big staple guns, bang.
Oh, I'm no stranger to a staple gun, yes.
Aha, now I know what you're into. Can't fool me.
No, this is wild though. I can't tell what's going on in it. I keep on like getting closer. I'm like, am I gonna know now? Like, but.
Well, there's a person in it.
2 people.
So it could be their thoughts. Yeah. It could be their thoughts being sprayed onto the canvas.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Poetry.
See, now you like it. Different interpretation can change your mind.
I just need you to explain everything for me.
I'll make up shit and you'll like it.
It's the Australian accent. Anything could be said in it, and I'm like, oh, I love it.
Oh my God. Oh, dear me.
All right, what's next?
Oh. This is in the permanent collection? I can't remember seeing this. Wow.
It's a great piece.
I know. It looks like an awkward position. If I slept like that, I'd have an arm that fell asleep, but you know.
That explains a lot of my problems because I sleep like that every night.
Yeah, you need a soft bed. Then you won't hurt yourself.
Instead of sleeping in my bed of flowers. So.
Yeah, we don't know how soft the ground is. But obviously the person has been kicked out of the house. They did something. You know, if you want to see it from a suburban point of view.
Oh, absolutely. And if you're being very suburban, that's definitely not my garden because I kill absolutely all of my plants. So
yeah, exactly. Now, if it's out in the country, it's probably still the same thing. Got kicked out of the farmhouse. Bad, bad, bad.
henceforth the title, The Lover. I mean,
the lover of what? Maybe you love the wrong person, and that's why you're out in the near the doghouse.
yeah. All right, let's see what's next.
Yeah, unless there's a lover's what's that? Are you sure this is in the collection?
Is this Tegan and Sarah?
No. But obviously this is something that doesn't make sense to me.
I feel like we could recreate this just like
like everything. Right. Okay. So they woke up and went, oh my goodness, I was hoping for a different person. But let's pose for the photograph for your mom anyway.
It's very exam room. Like this looks like a doctor and patient.
Except that it looks like there's a bed in the background. Yeah.
I don't know what kind of doctor you're going
to. Whatever it's going on, it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very. And also on the left, that looks like a wig. I'm sorry, that does not look like hair. The way that's shining. I'm like, wig.
Yep.
Okay, I'm very tired of them looking at me. Can we go next?
Okay. Oh, now this is interesting. Now this is either a roundabout with elaborate art all over it, or it's an alien ship that showed up in San Jose.
This might be mean. But all I'm thinking of is like in the Haight-Ashbury when you're getting like the psychedelic art stores. This looks very like psychedelic. Like I painted this, it has felt on it, and I colored in things with markers. I'm like, what's going on?
Well, you're not old enough to remember those days.
I know you are, though.
I am.
Wow.
And you are right. This does look like that after I did my alien thing. But you know, when people were high on drugs, that's what aliens look like. That's probably
from experience, I assume.
Came from, yeah. But I like it. It's got a cute woman with long hair. And to me, it looks like a potential drag queen. And to me, it looks like a potential fabulous lesbian. But that's fine. We can see whatever we want. That's what art is. It's not about what it really is. It's what we see in it. Yeah. Okay.
That's a cool one. There's so much. I want to see this one like up close so I can really like dissect it, you know?
Exactly. And I wonder if it's a ginormous piece of art too. Wouldn't it be great taking up the whole wall? I would love.
This note says that it's 68 by 48, so that's a good size.
Oh, good. I may go in and have a look. Let's break in sometime, huh?
Go down. Did we just make public plans to break into the San Jose Museum of Art?
Oh my God. Oops.
Sorry in advance. Ooh.
What is that?
So this one, according to the notes, is LEDs and it's custom hardware. So this one, you probably need to see in motion and be in person for it because it's a lot of light.
Oh, okay. It's very gay pride-ish. Yeah.
I know,
Silicon
cool.
Valley pride-ish.
Very that. I would want to see this one in person for sure because it looks like a really interesting, like kind of hazy glow.
We have a
All
date.
interpretation.
Yeah. Okay, next. Oh, confectionery. And how is that art? Apart from the fact that each one of them is a piece of art in themselves.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I do love a Wayne Thiebaud moment because the use of color in this is gorgeous and it makes it look more candy-like than like it probably even was, you know? Oh, Gabrielle, are we losing you?
What?
Okay.
No?
All right.
Can you see me?
All this being, I can't see you, but I can kind of hear you. But all this being said, we've had a lovely talk about all of the art at San Jose Museum of Art on permanent collection. And while we have her here, I'd love to have the lovely Marcela Pardo Ariza talk about some of the art that she's been working on. She has a lot to say, girl. So, Marcela, are we here?
Yay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I just had a great time hearing you both talking about art. Thank you for that. That was really entertaining.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
Noted. Thank you so much for having me.
Can you see me?
We're very glad to have
Can
you
you see?
Yes, I can see you. So how do you feel about, I'll show you some things and then you ask me some questions.
Of course.
All right.
Okay.
So hi everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm super stoked to share a little bit about my work. I'm gonna tell you about some projects that I've been doing with some amazing folks, and then you can ask questions later. So I'm just gonna start with this project, which is called This Is Weird Without You. And when the pandemic arrived and we were all dealing with our lives changing forever, me and my roommates and collaborators, Juan Carlos Rodriguez Rivera and Felipe Garcia, we were going through the places that we used to visit and where we were like regulars at. And we were seeing all these boarded up businesses. And, it kind of felt really apocalyptic. So we wanted to do a project that was a little bit more uplifting, where we kind of brought a little bit of hope into public space. So when we were seeing in each one of the businesses that we saw was that, when they were in social media talking about the closure of their businesses or the temporary closure, some of their messaging was really hopeful. So at Elda, which is a Latinx owned bar in the Mission where Felipe works, they put something like this. So we put the posters and they're all wheat pasted. So we actually we printed them at home and we learned how to do our best recipe for wheat paste, just with flour and water. And then we just kind of tiled both of these posters. They were both in English and in Spanish. And we kind of started with the businesses that we already had relationships with. This is a restaurant called Lolo, also in the Mission. And actually the owner is Lorena, who is an amazing designer. And we had an exhibition like 3 years ago. So it was really beautiful to kind of collaborate again years later on this. Miss Seeing Your Face was also in their social media. We also collaborated with El Rio, which is like the best dive queer institution of San Francisco. And it was sweet to kind of think about the things that we miss the most, like dancing together, drinking together, spending time together, hanging out in this kind of very, these local places. This was at Moby Dick. We enjoyed asking people some of these questions just to like share a little bit of their relatability of this moment. And it was sweet to see people's reactions as we were installing this in the streets. This one was at Wild Hook, where the Lexington Club used to be, which was one of the last like lesbian bars in San Francisco. And there was something really beautiful about doing this project, both in terms of, developing a new technique together and like looking at different recipes online and kind of phrasing and thinking about what the text would say on these businesses so that we could create a different poetic energy on public space. And, this project has had a lot of different iterations all over San Francisco. We also had an exhibition at Ochi Projects in LA. And now we really want to bring this project all in Spanish to different places in Latin America. So if you know someone, let us know. We want to give them some posters so that they can weight paste them themselves. So aside from that, a lot of my practice is a lot about photography and site-specific installations. This is a photograph that I did with my chosen family, David Aristizabal, that lives in Mexico City. And a lot of my work is about collaboration and how we are never taught to know how to collaborate. So it's really messy sometimes. There's not really a protocol to do it in a right way. But I like thinking about that because you kind of build the trust in the process as you go. In the 2016 election where some dude got elected, I really started thinking about who protects us. And I really wanted to honor our chosen family. So this is a little bit of like honoring that, like the importance of kinship and celebration and chosen family. And I like it because it's so hard to define. There's something, like kin is sexy, is sweaty, is full of tears, it's so generous, but also so, it can be so joyful, it can be so complex. And I find some beauty in that, in the complexity of how we shape our interpersonal relationships with people that we consider family. Here's another one. And, with this body of work, I also wanted to talk about how you can belong through a material. So here I was using denim, and later on I will be talking about leather a little bit. And this is another body of work that was part of Bay Area Now at Yerba Buena Center for the Arts. And for this one, I was just kind of looking through the archives, the GLBT Historical Society archive. And I was really blown away by all these like queer histories that existed in this place together. And so I asked some of my friends to pose with some of these people from these archives. And I was looking to kind of bring them back to reality to show that history is not linear. I really like this one. You see both of the frames hugging in a way, and you see Bruno and Marcus holding each other. And this project really made me think about the importance of intergenerational connection, especially in the queer community, and also how, we always have to honor those who have walked the streets before us, especially in regards to like civil rights and queer rights. So just another example. And the cool part about this project is that I really love building the frames for them and kind of just having fun while doing some of this work. And also thinking, I always think about visual representation. What is it that we want to see? Most of the images that we see in public space are advertisements that try to sell us something. And I think it's so important for us to make images that represent like our daily lives and the people that we love in ways that we want to see them. This is how the installation looked like. This was the documentation of YBCA. And I really like taking over the space, kind of making the space a little bit more site-specific, making the pieces be site-specific, and making it a little bit more theatrical. Both of my parents did a lot of theater, and I enjoy how playful it is, but how you can make a set and make the stories that you want to tell. After doing that project, I also wanted to invite a lot of artists to do a book together. So me and Irwin Smirnov put an open call for artists to submit work about queerness, family, and kinship. And we did this publication, which is sold out, but you can see it in my website. You can download it, you can print it, you can give it to a friend, you can give it to a lover. And we just wanted to create this publication to kind of show all of the different stories that there are about chosen family. And there's still so many more to share. I just wish that I had seen a book like this when I was younger. So I hope that like it gives somebody else some sort of perspective that I was missing. I just wanted to put the table of contents because I was so humbled to work on this project with so many incredible artists that I respect. I wanted to give this shout out to John Foster Cartwright, who took these Polaroids of the people that work at the Stud. The Stud has been around for so many years, and it was a bar that for me really brought so many feelings of love and family. And it recently closed in its current location, and I know that the collective is working to open up a different bar, like at the Stud, in another location. So if you're able to support them, they have a GoFundMe for the Stud in Exile, and they're trying to do programming that supports like queer nightlife that we all love. So that they are looking so cute. This is another body of work that I just wanted to talk about. That's about more like tenderness and belonging through a material. Again, talking about like BDSM and desire and touch. And I really wanted to kind of bring up that idea of tenderness and like consent, even in BDSM scenarios. And for this particular body of work, I was collaborating with my transnational kin, which are dear friends in Mexico City. Two of them have this incredible platform that's called vulgar.mx, which is like a sexuality education platform. We always talk so much about pleasure and intimacy, and how we wish that we had learned about sex in different ways. And I think they're doing an incredible work at talking about all these issues and the ways that we experience interpersonal intimacy, and the ways that we can communicate better, and the ways that we can feel more things that we could have ever imagined. So check out their work. They're really doing amazing work right now in Mexico. These are some more photos. And so for this body of work, I had the pleasure of installing it at the San Jose Institute of Contemporary Art. And this show was curated by Christine Copes, and it was really beautiful to be part of it, just because there were so many other photographers that I deeply admire, such as like Jamil Helu and Erika Demon and Tammy Ray Carlan and Stephanie Sihuko. I really thought this was such a historical show where like so many generations of photography and queer photographers were kind of in conversation with one another. This is a poster from the 1970 that is called Touch One Another. And this poster used to be distributed in different queer bars, or like just bars, where the way of showing solidarity was the way to show that like queer people existed was through touch and through demonstrating that there is love outside of straight love. And I find this really beautiful. There's something about this act of solidarity of touch that was happening in these bars in that time. And it's really interesting to think about that, how it has changed, right? So in this moment, touching one another is no longer an act of solidarity, but is the opposite. And I'm really drawn to how history kind of changes all of these aspects, and like how solidarity can look very different ways in different moments in time. So because of this poster, the curator David Evan France did an exhibition at the Palm Trees Art Museum that was called Touching History, which was a celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots. And this exhibition was also really intergenerational. I put the names of the artists here, but I had admired Joey Cherrill for a very long time. And also I got to meet Robert Andy Combs, who's doing also incredible work regarding disability and desire. And I really encourage you all to look at his work as well. So talking about Touching History, I'm currently working on this project that's gonna go up on Market Street in San Francisco. And it's a series of posters where I've taken some images from the archive from past Pride parades, and I'm kind of printing them life size and making cutouts out of them and asking people in the queer community to be a part of them, to have a moment of transhistorical kinship. So for this one, I wanted to include Ismael Fafana, who is like an amazing drag queen, and also Betty Towers, who is part of the House of Towers. And both of them I got to meet in San Francisco, but I've also been in like queer camp with them. So we've known each other for a while now, and I really respect their work. So I just wanted to involve them in the project. Here's another example. This is Nicole Santamaria. She's an art therapist, and she's currently working at the ELA para Trans Latinas, which is an amazing organization in the Mission District. And interestingly enough, she lives with a lot of birds, and she considers animals part of her kin, which I think is really beautiful. And so for the photo shoot, she wanted to include La Mochi, which is the bird that you see, to kind of have this like duo of different folks, human and non-human, kind of like kinship depicted in this forest together. I'm very moved by this project and very moved by people's willingness to participate in it. I think as we think about the 50th anniversary of Stonewall, we need to acknowledge that the times that we're in are historical, and we need to think about our queerness differently and about pushing for the changes that we want to see. This is a photograph, part of the same project with Jampy Star, who is an incredible dancer from Puerto Rico. He lives in the Bay Area and is part of Axis Dance, which is an incredible organization that promotes dancing. And I just met him recently because I had seen his work for years. I had admired his work for years when I was working at YBCA. So it was really beautiful that we got to connect, because I think that we have a lot of things in common. I'm excited to collaborate with him long term. This is a little mock-up, so you get the idea of where the posters are gonna go. They're gonna be installed in October, so I hope you can see them, take a little stroll with your fam or your loved ones or your dog, and just see, you know, some of the folks that like live with us today, and to honor the people that walk the streets before us. So yeah, that's a little bit of that. Maybe now Alpha and Gabrielle can ask me some questions.
First of all, I'd love to say that I love the focus on intergenerational queerness, and in a way, we're kind of bringing that today.
I know, it's so sweet.
It's really cool. I really like seeing your kind of movement from denim to leather in a way. Was there any like decision behind that, or was it just kind of a natural flow that you kind of changed the material that you were working with alongside the same sort of theme?
I think, you know, I was thinking of melonging first, and then I think I also was getting a little kinkier as that was happening. So that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also started working in leather, so that was really fun.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah, it's so fun. You should get into it. We have time now.
I know, all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Other than that, I love seeing the like text series on the closed spaces, because it's such a simple thing. Really brief but poignant messages. was it your intent to convey a Latinx experience and queerness through that, or did it just kind of come naturally through, like, this is what we're all going through with COVID closures?
Well, I think it kind of became organic in the sense that it was the places that we were already going to, which happened to be Latinx owned, queer owned, women owned. So that kind of led the project to grow on its own. But what was really beautiful was to see how each one of these businesses was putting this language already out there. And we were just asking to be like, can we say what you said, like, louder on your business, so that the people that come to see your business regularly get to have that kind of connection with the place, even though it's closed. And also, a lot of businesses had GoFundMes because their employees were furloughed. So we also put the link there so that people could donate to some of those GoFundMes.
Gotcha. Very cool. If I can, off of that, you mentioned the stud. Stud was that was a very special place. But as you said, they are continuing to raise funds for wherever they open their next location, wherever it happens to be, whenever it is. Tomorrow night is Drag Alive on their Twitch channel, and I have a video there. So,
amazing!
Yeah, self-plug, and also we love to support that queer space in particular because it's an amazing space.
It's an amazing space, amazing people. It really is.
Gabrielle, do you have any questions for Marcella?
Oh my God, that was incredible because...
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. For a while, the kinky community kind of denim themselves over in the 70s and into the 80s, and went underground in the 80s with the leather and and all kinds of stuff. And then in the 90s came out of denim into the leather more in public. And so that made sense to me.
I like that.
Yeah. And, every minority starts off in the closet somehow. And, I do remember seeing kinky people with lumps, round lumps on their thighs under their denim. And I would, stick my finger on there. I'm going, ha, you're a leopard man. Or,
I love that. I love that.
They wouldn't know what to do. It's really interesting. And it's really nice to sort of see it in art, because art is the emotional expression of activism, which is more of a verbal, rah-rah kind of expression. And it's really important to have art because that's the heart of activism. That's how, just watching your presentation, it takes a lot of heart and understanding of what's going on with the people, because when you have activists protesting, what the public sees is the anger and outrage, which is very important. But they see the heart that got broken that turned to anger, and that's the thing that art can bring to the table. And that's why I love it so much. And, and as someone who came out as a lesbian in 1966, it was before Stonewall, and we came out of the closet in Sydney, Australia, because it was a global movement, like Black Lives Matter is a global movement. We came out of the closet in 69 and 70 and shocked the world in Australia, because Australia, believe it or not, Alpha, Australia was more homophobic than America. Oh my!
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Oh my God. And then internally, the horror, you know, the gay men went, yeah, let's come out of the closet, more men. And the lesbians went, no, I don't want my girlfriend meeting any other women. It was really funny. And so I'm rushing out of the closet and going, where are the women, you know, until gay liberation happened, you know, the more radical people. And so, you know, having lived through that, what happened at the time is the artists were the ones that brought heart to the movement and the chaos that activism creates, you know. And I always have appreciated that, you know, the poets and the spoken word and the photography and any kind of art like what you have shown, you know, the collage of people and motion. And you know what's interesting, the whole thing about touch, you know, we're in the closet, we don't touch each other in public because that is dangerous. And then when AIDS happened and everyone thought you could catch it, people, you know, nobody touched people who had HIV and AIDS for a long time. And they were freaky about it. And now we have COVID, you know, you're not allowed to touch people just because you may want to. And so it's very interesting that you bring that up, you know, because touching is very important for disenfranchised people.
Totally.
Just kind of,
the thing is, yes.
Bouncing off of that even was, I thought it was so interesting how you have, the cardboard cutouts of, you know, older Pride photos with someone who's sitting in a mask touching them, kind of reflecting that this is the current state where we can't touch, this is the state where we can. It's so current, it's so poignant with everything that's going on now, and queerness, of course.
Yeah, no, totally. And one of the things about, you know, spending so much time in the archives is that I start to see what's missing. And so I don't see a lot of people of color in the archives. And so I'm also like looking for certain types of documentations of events, and I'm like, where are they? And so now I think that I'm thinking more about what are the documents that we need to materialize in this moment, about this moment, for like people to come, which is an interesting challenge because we can't process the present in the present, but we can try.
Yeah. I mean, I'm even thinking of doing a podcast to interview all the older people in our community about what they remember. Because, you know, my parents were immigrants from Yugoslavia right after the Second World War. And so English is my second language. And I still have to translate sometimes, even to this day, what is in my mind. And it often comes out wrong because, you know, the grammar of the language that is your first language is different from English. You know, everything is different from English, Alpha. Oh, my goodness.
I don't doubt that. English is wacky.
And with another language comes a way of seeing the world. And the thing about Yugoslavians is that they lost their country. They don't have a Yugoslavia anymore. And so my parents felt lost. And I picked up on that. You know, I often feel lost, like I don't belong anywhere, you know. And that is true. They had no country. And in Europe, the culture of the countries are much deeper than in Australia and America. We are new countries. I'm a dual citizen. So, you know, these are new countries compared to the culture you come from and the cultures in Europe and you know, everywhere else. And so it was a great loss of identity and connection and touch. You know, people when I find a Yugoslavian, there's usually a group of older Yugoslavian men, and they always sound like my father. And I stop and I talk to them, and they all have the same, the ending. How you know a Yugoslavian is you have the ovich at the end of your name. I'm Antolovich. So typical Yugoslavian name. And you know what the first thing they do when I go, oh my God, you sound like my father, and they put their arms around me. That's, you know, the touch is so important. It's like they found another Yugoslavian. And they don't even care if I'm Croatian or Serbian. You know, that war was over a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting too, because I grew up in Bogota, in Colombia. A lot of my family is watching tonight, so I'm excited. But you know, all of my family lives in Bogota and Venezuela, and there is something so beautiful about going home and seeing how the culture of touch is so different than in the US, right? Like, how do we say hello to each other? How do we acknowledge each other's presence? How do we, like, the politics of care are so different. And I think that we learn how to navigate that in different contexts, but it's important to know that it is different.
Yeah. Oh, very different. Because I feel like COVID closures aren't that different from like typical US, you know, actions where you just like don't touch people, you're not near people. But Latinx culture, Yugoslavian culture, it's all just so close, it's so loving. Queer culture has kind of adopted that in a sense, which makes queer culture more of a worldly culture than United States culture. It's wild. I think you're doing, I mean, in my opinion, an amazing job of just capturing your intergenerational queerness, and especially in reaction to everything that's going on now, doing amazing work at conveying that. And I can't wait to see more that you bring. Is there anywhere that we can go to find more of your artwork right now?
Yeah, I mean, you can go to my website, marcelapardo.com, or my Instagram, just Marcela Pardo. And also, this is so lovely. We should all do a little photo shoot together, but that's going to happen in the future. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm so glad you could be here.
Love. Yeah, you are fabulous.
Likewise.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
you are a piece of art, Alpha.
I'm trying my hardest. Thank you.
Oh, you are great. Wasn't that wonderful? Oh my goodness.
That was fantastic. I was really blown away by everything, because I've seen the little tidbits of things that she shared on Instagram and everything, but actually seeing her work and hearing her talk about it, that was, I've said it a million times today, but poignant. It feels fitting. It's really great work that she's doing. I mean, Marcella is one fantastic queer artist that we're featuring tonight. We also have, coming up next, a beautiful set from LA. She's a San Jose native. She is absolutely stunning. We have the one and only Sancha.
Woohoo!
Baby.
LA is fabulous.
Absolutely. Oh, got word that she's not live, but it's pre-recorded. But honestly, I'll take it, because I need me some gorgeous Latinx beauty.
Woohoo!
Hi, Sancha. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer some questions for the San Jose Museum of Art as we celebrate Silicon Valley Pride online with Facebook First Friday. We're so thrilled to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Sancha, your stage name is so cool. Would you mind sharing what it means with the audience?
So Sancha as one word means mistress, so the other. And then I split the words up so that it could be like San Jose, you know, San Francisco. It's a saint, specifically a male saint, because a female saint would be Santa, like Santa Cecilia, Santa Isabel. So Sancha is a combination of like the religious context and also the kind of like the enemy of everyone is the Sancha, you know.
Oh, thank you. And as a San Jose native, what do you miss most about your hometown?
I miss my parents. I miss my family. I have a huge family out there. I have a lot of, my mom's one of 12 and my dad is one of 14. And like less than a third of their family lives in San Jose, which is still a lot of people. So I have a lot of cousins. I have a lot of aunts. I have a lot of, in Mexico, you call them tías segundas, but I think here it's like cousin once removed or something like that. Yeah, so I miss all of that. I miss my family.
And have you all been gathered together in a large gathering?
Not everyone together, no. The biggest gathering was when I was about 10. So my mom is one of 7 sisters. So all 7 sisters were in Mexico at the same time with their children. So we were all on the farm, all of my cousins and everything. We were like collecting grasshoppers for the birds, mopping the house, sweeping, washing dishes, you know, on what us as like Chicano children consider our vacation. But that was the biggest gathering we've ever had. But no one's ever been together. Mostly because some of my family's still undocumented out here. So it's hard to get everybody somewhere. And some of my family in Mexico has tried to get visas and they can't. And some of them are too afraid to come over here, you know, the undocumented way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a few years ago, you left the Bay Area and moved to Mexico to live with your tia. How did that shape your music?
So my tia, when I got there, could see that I had torn clothes, that my hair was like bleached and falling out. And she was like, there's something wrong with you. And something about the San Francisco scene didn't do anything for you. So she was like, you need to sing rancheras. So songs that were familiar to her. And for me, it was like, oh, you just want me to sing songs that you know. But I made an album. I recorded an album of just covers for her and my other aunts on the farm. And then they started trading it around and then sending it to my uncles here in the US and stuff. And that changed the way I started singing, actually. Singing rancheras uses a lot more power and a lot more wind, really. And it reminded me a lot of like opera and this classical training that I had for a little bit and that I didn't pay attention to. And I was like, damn, I should have paid attention to my classical training a little bit more, or I would be able to sing this a lot better. But ever since I started singing rancheras, my family started paying attention and also supporting me more and supporting me in ways that were just like actually listening to my music. And not telling me to just go home to my mom and stop whatever I was doing. They at least never told me to stop anymore.
Well, that's lovely. And let's see. We are celebrating Pride, and as a queer performer, has that influenced your music and style? How is that tied? Are they tied together or no?
Like, can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Sure. So, as a queer performer, How has that influenced your music and style, or has it?
I mean, it's definitely influenced everything. I mean, I always credit my drag mother, Persia, for really jump-starting my performance career, really, because before that I was doing like open mics and stuff like that and trying to find something to belong to. And it was Persia who helped me get into this. Like, she's a drag queen, so I was performing at all these, and she also curated an art show, so I was performing at art shows, backyard parties, and drag performances where there's not usually music. So I was over here performing with backtracks without a band, all by myself. And, you know, watching drag queens really helped me like study performances, study the way, even if I was drunk and blacked out most of the time, I still remember some of the most like epic and like, and touching and moving performances. And I remember what they did and what was so captivating about it, and tried to apply that to my own performances. So it changed everything for me.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, let me ask. And how would you describe your music?
My music is a combination of like my choir like church choir upbringing, a little bit of like classical training, and rancheras. And in it is, you know, in San Francisco, I did a lot of like artsy punk things, so that's still in there.
Yeah.
And a little bit of like, you know, guitars, electric guitars and stuff like that, and ambient sounds. But sometimes it's hard to categorize the music, but if anything, it's like Latin rhythms, rock and roll, and ranchera and classical.
Thank you.
Mm.
And who are some of your main influences?
Right now, I've been listening a lot to Chavela Vargas. Totola Momposina is someone that's really influencing me right now. And La Lupe.
Mm-hmm.
La Lupe was one of, I used to go to this San Francisco drag bar called Esta Noche with Persia all the time. And one of the drag queens, Lulu, she would perform to La Lupe all the time, and I didn't know who she was at that time. But I definitely thought that Lulu was La Lupe. Maybe I was too drunk, but but then going into it and researching her more, I see like how kind of punk she was too, La Lupe. And that's been a huge influence, and the way she sings, the way that she's kind of a different character while she's performing has been very inspirational for me.
So taking traditional plot lines from a telenovela, your album, La Luz De La Esperanza, features a passionate love affair, which becomes abusive. But things are very different for the protagonist. What happens to her?
So she starts to fall in love with something that she doesn't understand, which in the telenovela is like an angel light force that has no gender or even like physical human features. So she starts to fall in love with this entity who appears whenever she's in her like lowest moments, and her expecting for this light force's name is Esperanza. Dolores trying to control Esperanza, and when she appears drives her mad because she can't control this entity. She can't, it's not like a relationship in a traditional sense. So that drives her insane, along with the abuse that she received from her husband. So the insanity leads her to her own freedom, though.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And how did this album come to you?
A little bit before I left San Francisco, I had the idea to make like a telenovela. And I was watching this telenovela, or rewatching this telenovela called Marimar from the 90s. And it's all on YouTube. But I was seeing and remembering in all these telenovelas how like violence received from your spouse or this man that you love was so normalized. And like almost like you want this man to manhandle you, you know? And then also inspired by like my personal like finding of queerness, seeing like being in a straight relationship before, and then living in this like queer house with my sister wives, and how much, you know, love there was without it being something that was traditional, you know, something that was like boyfriend, girlfriend kind of thing. And sometimes not even sexual at all. And how that love was, you know, very transcendent.
Sorry.
Hi, Kitty.
Hermione just wants to say hello.
Hello.
He's a real fan too.
Yes.
And so, let's see. In a spotlight video that I believe you created in Jalisco, you've said that sometimes you feel you are channeling other spirits, free, singing at the top of your lungs. How does that reflect your performances?
The goal for me is always to not remember my performance because I've lost myself. And that's when I know that the performance served what it needed to serve, you know? And letting myself be taken over by something else, you know? And I used to use alcohol for that, but a lot of the times you feel like you're not alone when you're up there, or like you're alone all at the same time, you know, feeling like you can lose yourself and trust whatever is holding you.
Yeah, I've seen you play at smaller like smaller performances, and then, you know, your audiences and your stages are growing larger, but you've always seemed to give 100%, regardless of if it's for a very small, you know, group of people where the money is being contributed to an after school program versus like, you know, for a bunch of people, you know, at like a noise pop fest or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love performing, and one of my favorite things is even just like singing at my house with a bunch of people over, and where it's not even like we have an audience, it's just we're hanging out, you know, and instead of playing like Spotify or something, we're singing songs that we know and that everybody knows, and everybody's singing along, and people are singing louder than me, you know. I'm just a guide. That's like one of my favorite moments.
And is that kind of similar to when you were in a choir, like, you know, singing with like a large group of people? Do you like that, being kind of drowned out by the community of friends?
Yeah. I mean, I guess the church choir wasn't necessarily like that because we were mite, you know, and that kind of stuff. But it's like, it reminds me of singing with my family, because they really drown me out.
Yeah.
They're like, you're just a guide, and we're here to sing along with you with full passion.
Let's see. And then, do you feel that your instruments are imbued with something the longer you play or own them? Do they also kind of have some sort of spirit that's different from yours?
Oh, definitely. I have this guitar that's followed me everywhere since it's probably the only thing that's been with me for that long, because, you know, moving around a lot. But I've had it since I was 13, and it's followed me to Mexico. It's followed me back I've lived in 7 different places since I've been in LA, and it's definitely picked up everything, and the sound has changed a little, and the way I take care of her has also changed. But yeah, she definitely has her own personality.
And now that you've been performing for 12 plus years, your platform and audience is growing. Does the crowd create a new energy that dances with the spirits you channel?
I guess I don't really notice the change. I hope that they've been channeling with me all along, and it's just bigger, and that's it. But I guess the noise pop show was a little crazy, but the audience, I still have people that have been following me for a long time, like especially that noise pop show, and people that are still very familiar to me. So that's been nice. But yeah, I haven't thought about that actually.
Maybe they'll start dancing together.
Right? Everyone together.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to talk about the project you just recently wrapped up?
Yes. So I just finished this song called La Tierra No Se Vende, and it's this collaboration with an artist named Maria May here in Los Angeles. And she does a lot of like sculptural things and masks, and very just like highly creative person. And this has to do with like land ownership and the goddess Coatlicue from Mexico, and how that goddess is the goddess of the earth. And when the Spanish found her, they buried her because she was so grotesque looking, you know. She has like snakes and everything. And in the video, we have me in front of this sculpture that Maria made of Coatlicue, and I'm in front of it with the Virgen de Guadalupe. And the song has to do, and the project has to do with the fact that none of us own any piece of land, and especially like colonists think that they own land in a way, and that's not true. In fact, we belong to the earth. And so this song has to do with that. And a lot of displacement has happened because a lot of indigenous people have said that they don't own the land, that they belong to the land. And colonizers have used that against them to take everything.
And so that will be coming out soon.
Mm-hmm. So it's a project we did with Dub Lab and the Music Center here in Los Angeles. And that should be premiering pretty soon. I don't really know dates yet, but sometime in August.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, very excited.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to see that. Sancha, thank you so much for taking the time to share your music and stories with us at the San Jose Museum of Art for Facebook First Friday.
Thank you for having me.
Your energy and spirit are infectious, and your music sounds totally new and original while feeling familiar and having always existed in the universe.
Thank you.
Where can people listen to you, follow you, and most importantly, purchase your music and merch?
Bandcamp is the way. sanchamusic.bandcamp.com. Of course, I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, all those things. But the most direct way to support is Bandcamp.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I'll just end this now. Thank you so much. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Love getting to hear from Sancha directly. Now, if you could all give your virtual applause, I want to see you all in the comments screaming, singing along, giving applause like you're at Sancha's house, singing louder than her. Here with a special performance exclusively for Facebook First Fridays, we have the lovely Sancha. Maybe not.
Ay, cómo me duele tenerlo todo y no poder moverme. Me despierta tu latido ardiente cuando me haces tuya al amanecerte. No ves que hago todo por ti y tú solo quieres sufrir. Levanta dolores, este juego se termina aquí. Ay, 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 Él con su amor duro día a día me siembra y planta mi futuro. Yo aquí sigo, hueca en el oscuro, cuando se vacía y me deja en nudos. No ves que hago todo por ti y tú solo quieres sufrir. Levanta dolores, este juego se termina aquí. Ay, 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 ay. que solo cantarás aquí. 'Cause you're the prettiest thing, the prettiest thing. Oh, you're the prettiest thing, the prettiest thing. Treats me like a queen. He showers me in flowers and open del diablo, el baile del diablo, capricho del diablo, el baile del diablo, capricho del diablo. Como te rezaba, Señor, y tú te empeñaste a quitarme mi don. Como te rezaba, Señor, con cuentas supuestas me atabas, mi Dios. Como te rezaba, Señor, celoso y injusto me salió mi Dios. Ay, 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 llegará el diablo, ya lo estoy esperando. Ya lo invité y no se deja ver, y ya me estoy cansando. Ay, 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 cuenta bien, mi diablo, cuántas veces me has fallado. No te atreverás a hacer las cuentas bien, terminarás aquí debiéndome, terminaste tú aquí debiéndome, terminaste tú aquí debiéndome, terminaste tú aquí debiéndome, terminaste tú aquí debiéndome. Ya no mientas, tú ni eres diablo, tu negocio es puro teatro. Como te rezaba, Señor, como te alababa, mi Dios, como te rezaba, Señor, como te alababa, mi Dios. Berrinchudo, tú eres nada más que un niño berrinchudo, berrinchudo, tú eres nada más que un niño berrinchudo, caprichoso, tú eres nada más que un chico caprichoso, capricho, capricho, caprichoso. Ay, 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 ay. Ven a encontrar mi diablo, todo el oro que me guardo. Ya llévatela, venme a cobrar la mosca muerta en el baño. Ay, 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 ay,
Wow. That was amazing. That was really special. Because like it's one thing to perform like that when you have an audience energy that you're able to kind of vibrate off of, but for Sancha to be able to give all of that performance, to channel all that energy from her living room with no one there, just a guitar to back her, that was really, really amazing. I'm really glad. I'm so excited she was able to do that for us. That's amazing.
Oh my goodness. I wish I could sing like that. I wish I could do drag like you, Alpha. I mean, come on.
I mean, I'm right here.
real. Love you.
Love you, Melanie. Thank you so much. Literally, everyone, can I get some virtual applause in the audience, in the crowds, in the comments for Melanie? This literally would not have happened if you were not putting this together for all of us. Thank you so much for representing San Jose Museum of Art and bringing all of us together for this. It's been a really, really special night, even though we can't all be together, you know.
See, I'm touching you.
Somewhere there.
Touch me, touch me, touch me. You remember that one. Oh my goodness. And we are so breaking into the museum for the art, aren't we, Alpha? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Melanie, sorry, but there might be some broken windows tomorrow. Broken windows with Gabrielle.
Nobody know it's us with our masks on, so whatever.
All good.
Our curators are going to say, hey, we thought that art was hung over there. What happened? Where'd it go? It just got moved to another space.
We had a different idea.
It works better over here in the light.
Yeah, right. All right.
But also, thank you to Marcela Pardo